Hello, 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 hello. Just kidding. Hi, y'all. Hi, y'all. I am back. We're gonna play some code. It is, just kidding. It, in a second. Oh, this way. It is Friday, y'all, and you already know what that means. It's Friday. The weekend vibes are here. The weekend vibes are here. It's Friday, so you know that it's camping weekend. So yeah, let me message Kelly if she wants to play. Oh no, she says she's not gonna be home till tomorrow. Never mind. But yeah, y'all, we're gonna play some COD. I have full screen, so I'm gonna be answering y'all from my phone. Let me just share this really fast. And I'm in a party with my sister, but it brought me to game chat, but I'm gonna go back to party. So yeah, y'all, the weekend vibes are here. I forgot, y'all, that it's Friday because it doesn't feel like a Friday. To me, yesterday felt like a Friday. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna be answering y'all from my phone. Okay, let me go back to party chat, y'all. So I'm sorry, you went to game chat. Alright, y'all, we're gonna play some code. We're gonna play some code. Let me just set this up on my Facebook really fast. Okay, there we go. Let me go get my other phone first, y'all, cause I hate when they message me from my personal phone and then I have to keep getting out of my live to answer. But yeah, I use two phones. My other phone I just use it like if it's my tablet, which is my old phone. Okay. Let me do that. Let me plug this bad boy up in here. Let me plug this bitch. Okay. Alright, y'all. There we go. Anyways. Okay. So the weekend vibes are here, y'all. They're here, the weekend vibes. So, like I said, you already know what that means. We're gonna camp. And there's no bundles again today. But yesterday, y'all, I got on Red Dead with some friends. And tell me why, y'all. There was this bitch, right? There was this girl and this guy. Yesterday, I got on Red Dead because I wanted to fill up my wagon so we could. No, I'm lying. My wagon was already filled, so I was just gonna like. I wasn't gonna. Whenever I got off my stream, I told you guys that. Stop, Luna. I told you guys that I was just gonna play offline, right? And then, what's it called? And then my friend joined. One of my friends joined, and he's like, "Hey, Sailor, do you want to do a wagon with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Cool." He's like, "I actually have," and like a lot of people just showed up. I'm like, "Oh my god, who the fuck are these people?" Right? So then he's like, "Oh, don't mind them. That's my crew." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, we have like 4 wagons if you want to do it with us." I'm like, "Well, of course, like that's many, right?" Which I only ended up doing one because I don't know what the fuck happened with the other ones. But anyways, so I was like, "Yeah," and then I'm like, "Well, I have a wagon too if you want to do mine." And he's like, "Yeah, that's what's up." And I was like, "Okay." So I ended up doing my wagon first, and then we were gonna do another wagon like after we finished mine. They were fighting some people because there was like 7 of us in the posse, And then, um, what's it called? Like, only one of the people, because I mean, it was my wagon. There was only one person with me on the wagon. So I was like, okay, like at least I mean, I have the crew, like the posses, like they're with me, but they're doing something else, which is fine, I guess. But they were fighting two people, and they were fighting some bitch named Juicy, and they were fighting somebody named Kim. And I told one of the guys I mean, you could hear them when they're in your posse. I was like, who are those people? And he's like, oh, don't worry about them. And they're like, Karma, my friend, his name is Karma, and the one that was answering me, his name was King. And King was like, oh, don't worry about them, like we got your back, Sailor. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm like, but do you know those people that you guys are fighting? He's like, we do. And I was like, but I thought they were just like being friendly, like, like sometimes when you play with your friends, like you friendly fire, like you're killing each other, but it's friendly. So I thought that's what they were doing. So whenever we finished my wagon, like we all got spawned with them, and that one of the bitches killed me. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, do y'all know who this fucking bitch Kim? And then, because I hate when people kill me, like when I'm not doing anything. I'm not even trying to kill them. I'm just there because we spawned there. Because I got out of my posse and I joined my friend's posse. So we ended up going where they were. So I was like, okay, whatever. And that bitch killed me. So I was like, who the fuck know this bitch? And then there was a girl talking, but I didn't know that. I thought Kim was that girl, but it was actually a guy because that bitch's name was Juicy. But let me go on with the story. So me thinking that she was Kim, and I was like, okay, why is this bitch killing me? Like, the fuck? And then she's like, she started laughing, and I'm like, what's funny? And then she was like, I don't know, like, you're just getting mad over because I killed you, because they're killing you. And I'm like, well, apparently, I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. That's why I'm asking. I'm like, and you're just laughing like a dumbass. And she just kept laughing and laughing like stupid. Like she sounded so annoying, y'all. Like her, it's funny just because they're killing me. They're like, cause you're so mad. I'm like, bitch, I'm not mad. I'm just trying to figure out who the fuck him is. I'm like, is that you? And then she just kept laughing. I'm like, oh my god, a fucking annoying bitch that can't even answer me, that just has to laugh. And then I told my friend Karma, I'm like, where do you find these stupid ass bitches that apparently? And then he kept like trolling Juicy. So there was a guy talking now. It was that bitch and somebody talking, which is a guy. But that I found out that that guy making fun of me because they started making fun of me saying, "Oh, why is this she getting mad and this and that?" And I'm like, baby girl, I'm not even fucking mad. I'm like, apparently you sound fucking mad because I just want to know who the fuck you are. But I'm like, now that I know who you are, I'm like, you're Juicy. I'm like, and this fucking faggot over here is fucking Kim. I'm like, and I'm the faggot. I'm like, when this fucking bitch has a girl's fucking name as his fucking username. I'm like, okay. And I started laughing, and I guess that kind of like made him get all butthurt. So like he started talking shit, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, now you want to talk shit to me? I'm like, because your little fucking bitch, the only thing she could do is laugh. And then I started laughing, and then that fucking bitch, like, that guy started getting annoying, y'all. Like, his voice was annoying. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna mute your ass. No, before I muted him, she kept talking shit, and I was like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm like, because unlike you, I'm like, I don't need people to back me up. I'm like, I could actually defend myself. I'm like, I don't need a fucking pussy and a fucking boyfriend to fucking defend me. I'm like, because that's what you're doing. I'm like, and the only thing you're doing, I'm like, you're just laughing. I'm like, what's funny? Like I said, what's funny? I'm like, I'm telling you off. I'm like, and the only thing you could do is laugh at what he said, what he's telling me. I'm like, because you can't tell me shit. I'm like, without him acknowledging your ass, because apparently you need acknowledgement so you could tell me anything. And then that's when my friend Karma was like, damn, like, Sailor's telling you off, girl. Like, can you back that ass up, Juicy? Like, tell me, can you back that ass up? And she sounded white. So I was like, bitch, I'm like, she's white. I'm like, she can't back shit up. I'm like, she's a plank. And then everybody in the lobby was like, ooh, like Juicy's getting told off. I'm like, exactly. I'm like, the bitch is getting told off by a faggot. And then that guy said something. I'm like, you know what, Kim? I'm like, you talking about faggots? I'm like, but yeah, your fucking name is Kim. I'm like, so you know what? I'm gonna mute you because you're annoying. I'm like, and you know what? I'll be back with you, Juicy. I'm like, which I don't know what Juicy is because you ain't got Juicy anything. And then I'm like, maybe Juicy Fruit, but that's it. And then everybody started laughing. So I muted that guy. And then I just kept trolling her. And then, dude, she did not say nothing. The only thing she was doing was laughing. I'm like, oh, now that I muted your boyfriend, I'm like, you don't have anybody to back you up because I can't fucking hear him and he can't fucking hear me. I'm like, that's the kind of bitch that you are. And then she's like, and what kind of bitch am I? I'm like, you're the type of bitch that needs somebody in their corner. I'm like, to hype your bitch ass up. I'm like, so you could actually say something. I'm like, because now that I muted him, I'm like, he can't fucking hear me. I'm like, and you're not like talking like how you were before. I'm like, where was that laugh? I'm like, where's that laugh now? I'm like, you were laughing, calling me, oh, this fag boy and this and that. This he, where's that? I'm like, now that I'm trolling your ass by myself, I'm like, because I muted him, I'm like, where the fuck is all that talk? And she's like, whatever. I'm like, exactly, bitch. I'm like, that's the only thing y'all bitches do. I'm like, it's whatever whenever y'all don't know what to say anything. And then one of the people from the crew, I don't know Karma's crew. I don't. Like, I just hang out with them, but there was a girl, she messaged me, her name was Jade. And she was like, oh my God, you're so funny. She's like, I love you. She's like, that fucking bitch is fucking annoying. She's like, I've known her for 2 hours and she's annoying. I'm like, the only thing she does is just laugh. I'm like, exactly. I'm like, now that I'm telling her off, I'm like, and I have him muted because apparently she needed acknowledgement from him so she could actually get hyped. I'm like, not that he's muted. I'm like, she doesn't know what to say. I'm like, because I'm trolling her ass and I'm making her stutter. And I was, y'all, like, I was making her stutter really bad. And everybody was laughing. I'm like, oh, what, bitch? I'm like, you're like Taylor Swift. I'm like, you can't back anything up. And then she got offended when I'm like, whenever Karma kept telling her, like, Juicy, like, back it up for me. And I'm like, Juicy, I'm like, she ain't gonna back up anything. I'm like, the only thing she's gonna do is make it whistle. And then, dude, once I fucking said that, the bitch stopped. Like, she stayed quiet, and she ended up leaving. And then, the reason they were killing me too, because they were killing me, which I didn't give a fuck. I was just wanting to troll her. They ended up leaving, then they came back, but they had to fucking cheat, y'all. They were off the radar. You couldn't really kill them. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, you guys are fucking pathetic that you guys actually have to be off radar and fucking kill me like that. I'm like, that's fucking pathetic. And she kept laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing, bitch? I'm like, you're not doing anything. I'm like, you're showing everybody that you have to cheat. I'm like, if you have to cheat to win, I'm like, more power to you. I'm like, because me, I'm like, at least I have skill. I'm like, and I really don't play this game like that. And then everybody was like, damn, you're getting told by Sailor Moon. And I was like, I'm like, it's these stupid kids. I'm like, it's these stupid girls. I'm like, and boys. I'm like, they really think that they're gonna offend me when they're gonna talk shit to me. I'm like, bitch, you're not gonna talk shit to me. I'm like, and think you're gonna get away with it. I'm like, trust me. I'm like, what? I'm gonna let you talk. I'm like, I'm gonna let you think that you're gonna offend me. I'm like, but once I open my mouth, I'm like, then that's whenever you're gonna see what the fuck I'm about. And yeah, y'all, I made her stay quiet. And she even fucking muted me because she couldn't take me. I'm like, exactly. And then Karma was like, why don't you unmute her and this and that? I'm like, because she can't handle me. I'm like, that's why. I'm like, since I muted her boyfriend, I'm like, now that he can't tell me anything, I'm like, she can't back anything up with him because she needs him. And then whenever she did get back on the mic, she's like, unmute him. I'm like, why do I have to unmute him? I'm like, do you want me to mute him because you need him? I'm like, that's the only reason why you want me to unmute him, because you need his fucking hype. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I could tell you off by myself. And then that's the only thing she kept saying, like, unmute him, and then I could tell you what I could back up. I'm like, bitch, you're not gonna back up nothing. I'm like I said, I'm like, your favorite position is the plank. I'm like, and you're like a plank, so you ain't gonna back up anything. But if I didn't say the video, but my friend Karma did, and I'm guessing he has like a device where you could actually hear the people on game chat, because it's not like this game, because on this game you don't have to be in a party and you could still hear them, but on GTA or Red Dead, if somebody's talking in game chat, you can't hear them. Like, if you record them, you need like a device to hear them or something like that. So I guess my friend Karma has that device, but he saved the clips, and I'm gonna tell him to send me those clips because I want to actually post them, because trust me, it went on for a good while. That argument with that bitch, she really thought she was gonna do something. She didn't. She ended up looking like a fucking idiot. But she ended up muting me, so she couldn't handle me. But anyways, y'all, that was my little fun with Red Dead last night. But like I said, I didn't save the clip because you guys were just gonna hear me, and I wish you guys could have heard that bitch talk, but oh well. But anyways, sorry for that little story time. But let's get it poppin', y'all. Let's get it poppin'. But y'all, trust me, I made that bitch shut the fuck up. Like, for real. She couldn't handle this mouth. But that was fun, y'all, last night. Telling off that stupid bitch thinking she was gonna fucking either shut me up or offend me because she was calling me gay and this and that. And I'm like, bitch, I probably look better than you, and probably that's why your men come to us. And then once I said that too, she didn't know what to say. And then she's like, my men come to ya. And then she's like, she kept stuttering. I'm like, bitch, I'm like, don't stutter. I'm like, oh, I have you stuttering now, huh? I'm like, all that shit talk that y'all had whenever I had this bitch unmuted. I'm like, now that I have him muted, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to tell me. I'm like, because you needed him in your corner. I'm like, now that he can't hear me, I'm like, where's the comebacks, girl? Like, bitch, come for me. But it was fun, y'all. It was fun. It was really fun. Like, I made some new friends last night because of that too. I made, like, that girl Jade. I made friends with her. I made friends with 2 other people. They were like, you're funny. And I was like, they're like, you told that bitch off. I'm like, exactly. I'm like, she really thought she was gonna make me either like get upset or whatever. I'm like, and then her saying that I was upset at the beginning, I'm like, she's the one that ended up getting mad. I'm like, she was the one that started sounding all mad and shit. I'm like, but whatever. I mean, you know that I never stay quiet, y'all. Do not stop! I already know that my mouth is dangerous, y'all. It's dangerous.
We're falling behind.
Burn, bitch. I named her right at him. Bitch. Bitch, burn, ho. Oh, she burned in hell. Burn, bitch. Dude, I hit her twice in the face, dude. These hit markers fucking suck, man. Oh my god.
Your trophy system has been destroyed.
Yeah. Burn, bitch. Stupid hit markers in this game, man.
Enemy spy plane inbound. Multiple hostile spy planes detected.
Bitch! Get off me, bitch.
Hostile counter spy plane established above. Hostile care package inbound.
Uh-huh.
Hostile counter spy plane established above.
Oh, we're gonna get murdered!
System is
Dude, I hit her twice, game!
Hostile sentry turret active.
Oh. Uh-huh, bitch. Get off me, bitch. Get off me.
We're losing the advantage. We've taken the lead.
Dude, why do I have to, like, lag, dude, whenever I'm doing so good, man? Bitch. Of course, they all come from the back, dude.
destroyed your trophy system.
Hostile counter spy plane established above. We're pulling ahead. Покажите им класс.
Push up, y'all. Push the fuck up.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Bitch. Help! I don't care, I still got your boyfriend, bitch. Shut your fucking mouth! Bitch! I got the fucking whore! Look at her. Teabagging the bitch. Hi, Jesse. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Hello, sister. Sister, you smell like a blister. I need to throw up. Can I throw up in your mouth, sister? That's good. It's healthy for you. Sister! Pero ¿cómo estás, Jesse? ¿Cómo estás? And whoever's in my stream, welcome, welcome. I just started. I don't want to play with many people. Pero estás bien. Ay, por eso las motos me dan miedo. Pero ojalá que estés bien. Que no te pasó nada.